go ahead and get started with the main event. Now, like I thought our last meeting was overflowing with developer riches, but I today's discussion is one for the book. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Today we have with us Shane Mack, CEO of Ephemera. And Ephemera, formerly XMTP Labs, is the company that stewards the development and adoption of XMTP. We also have the co-founders of Converse Messenger, a community favorite when it comes to apps built with XMTP. We have Pol Maire and Noé Malzieu. Now, would you like to go ahead and take it away, Shane?
All right. Well, I'm super pumped to be here, and it's a cool moment, but it feels like it's been in the works for a while, and it's cool to see it all come together. And I just kind of thought I'd share a story of how it all kind of played out. I've known Pol and Noe now probably 2 years, and been the first developer team really building a messaging application, mobile focused, fast, simple, on top of the XMTP protocol. And, we've worked together, we've shared ideas, we've almost been working as one team since the beginning. And so a few months ago, I went to London and Pol came and met me, and we sat down together. And I remember the first hour, it's kind of like, Pol, what do you think? What do you think the future looks like? What is in your head, and where do you want to go from here? And he really had like a 10-year vision of where this can go and how this could be a lot bigger, how this could actually be a world-class messaging app, how decentralized communication was becoming a bigger trend, and really why having a decentralized communication network and an app native to on-chain where money and messaging come together is a bigger thing than I think both of us even were realizing. And at the same time, we're getting ready to launch groups, and building this ambitious of a thing is going to take a lot of resources. We need to put a lot more kind of people behind it and really go try to build something that's a daily use case for consumers. And so I remember being at lunch and I said, what would you do if I was in your shoes? And he said, well, I might just acquire Converse. And I was like, well, what would that look like? And, by the end of the lunch, we really kind of decided, I think this probably made the most sense. We have more resources. We've already been working together. We can become one team. We can actually be on the same team. And what can we do differently to build more trust in the ecosystem? And I think both of us really believed in open source and really believed in creating developer trust. And my whole history has been building on top of closed source applications. So for me, it felt like a really cool opportunity to not just build an open protocol that's secure like XMTP, but to actually build an open application layer too. Because developers don't just build on protocols, they also build on apps. And if we can do that, then we can really not just inspire the community, but also help them. And the community can learn from us and use what we've built. And ultimately it builds a bigger network that has the values of everything that we've been working towards. And so it was one of those moments where, he kind of said it to me, what was already in my head. And when moments like that happen, it's cool that they kind of come together like that. He said, I need to go talk to Noe now. And so, he went and talked to Noe. He called me back. And, that was early May. So in about 2 months, it all came together. And just thanks to everyone on the team and the past couple of years of work. And I think it's been really cool to see how integrated the team already is, and really the feedback just in these early moments, even of open sourcing the application layer, I think hopefully goes down as a move that even inspires more people to do it. Most applications are closed source, and most messaging or social applications or Web3 applications, they build on an open protocol, but they close source the app. And then people, realize that if you go get all the attention on a closed source app, then, maybe you're competing with the ecosystem. And I think the more we can do to not compete and really collaborate and be open is an good move for the whole ecosystem. So really excited to see where this goes, and it's been a pleasure working with both of you, and I'm just excited that we get to keep doing it. So that's all I have.
Yeah. Can I take the mic, JH?
Yes, please, please.
All right. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Shane, for this introduction. That was quite a big lunch in London for us, and that was a great moment. Yeah, first, Noé and I are super excited about finally announcing publicly the fact that we are joining Ephemera, the fact that Converse is becoming part of the Ephemera family, and that Converse is being open sourced. This was not done on purpose at the very beginning, but the fact that we announce it the day it becomes open source, I really believe that it means something. It's not about somehow a company acquisition. It's about like a major step towards the future of Converse and XMTP working together. So that's great. Yeah, the thing that I wanted to add to what Shane just said is that it feels really natural to go down that path. With Noé, the truth is, from the very, very beginning, we could have built yet another centralized crypto messaging app. Like so many people are actually trying to go down that path. The truth is, we had this intuition since like beginning of 2023 that there was no point doing so. Like it was not aligned with the crypto values. It was not the future, and we couldn't build something big for the world by doing something that was centralized and not based on an open protocol. So basically, the truth is, it's not today that we are choosing to link our destiny to XMTP and Ephemera. We actually made the decision a year and a half ago when we started working on Converse, and so. Yeah, I'm super excited to keep having this, protocol-centric approach with all of the benefits that it can bring in terms of trust, in terms of privacy, in terms of openness, and keep doing it with resources with Ephemera. And keep having this back and forth between the application and the protocol. I guess a lot of builders have this, question, which is like, how do you actually interact with the protocol that you are building on top of, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we've been managing to do it quite well with the XMTP team so far. But now it's another step. It's something that will be much faster, more efficient, and of course more valuable for the users and developers. So we are also super excited about this and about the future.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Paul. Any comments, Noé?
Yes, for sure. Again, super excited to join. It's been quite a crazy journey, and indeed, on the tech side, like building an app on top of an open protocol, we needed a protocol that was like in the making. We needed to have a very strong relationship with XMTP, and we had it since the very beginning. And it kind of felt we were working as one team, but still, we also thought that it would be faster to just join forces. And I think like the recent forecaster webcast growth showed that having in-house one client, I don't know if it's the best client, but one very good client is the best way to improve the app, but also the protocol, and to have learning like this feedback loop that we had between Converse and XMTP will now be much, much faster. And so it will bring a lot of value to the app, but it will also bring a lot of value to the protocol and the SDKs. And so that's a win-win for everyone and for the community. So that I'm really excited about. And about the open sourcing, it's funny because it's something like we thought about so many times with Paul. And I don't know what was the blocker, but the fact that we are now part of Ephemera and that there is less competitiveness between this app and other clients. The goal is to open it. It's very exciting. Again, a very nice gift to the community. So also happy to join full-time at XMTP right now.
And so let's go. This is very cool.
Well, thank you and welcome, of course. Any other comments? Comments, questions?
Well, I think there's something important. Like, as we are actually part of a dev call, I think the question is what to expect for the future. And the way I see it is, and the way we see it is that Converse more than ever has to be somehow a playground, keeping all of the values that made XMTP since the very beginning, keeping the strength of the protocol, but also using the application layer as a way to actually be fully focused on making the experience better for the users, providing new features, new values, etc., that will then be able to be part of the protocol. So I think that, and we can already see it with a very close internal group of testers for the group chats. Converse has always been somehow innovative. This is what we've been trying to do so far. But I think developers, users can expect for the next few months and years Converse to be kind of the forefront of trying to innovate on an open protocol, because we all I actually believe that we are all here because we believe that having an open protocol that is trustless, safe, decentralized is the best way to actually create tomorrow's communications. And we don't really know what it will look like. We have a lot of intuitions, we have a lot of vision, but we don't really know what will stick in terms of user happiness and user stickiness. And so basically, I think this is what people have to expect for the next few weeks and months. And so, bringing the protocol and the application together should actually be the very first step for users and developers being even more demanding with us, because that's how we will put all of this forward. And we have also the responsibility. We talk a lot about devs because this is dev call, and this is the community that we want to reach. But in the end, it's all about users because we are all here to serve users. And so we have a responsibility as a team, as Ephemera, to actually bring the users there, to enhance their life, and then to bring this sort of surface area for developers in order to have users that they can address and that they can build applications on top of.
Oh, fantastic. You answered one of the questions I had queued up, which is what's in store for the future. So that's great. Thank you, Pol. And what do we think some of the calls to action are for developers right now?
Should I go and answer that question as well, or Noé, do you want to?
I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Oh, sure. What do we think developers should do today?
Oh, so well, I guess the fact that the app is open source, of course, can help developers find how we fix some of the common issues of building a chat application. It's interesting because the protocol has been very efficient since almost day one, but building a performant chat app is actually super difficult. And at the beginning, we thought it was quite a simple app. And when we started discussing with other developers that work on chat application, everyone just hits the same rough spots. And so I think the app being open source could help many developers address some of the common issues of building a chat application. And of course, the big thing that developers should look forward to is group chats, something that has been in the making at Ephemera and in Converse for a while. And we'll have an app that supports group chat pretty soon. And of course, developers will need to work on this and see how we did it and try to innovate in group chat with on-chain data, on-chain information. And this is, I think, something to look forward to. We've been dreaming about this for a year now, and it's almost there. So let's build on it.
And we are actually here. I was talking about developers who have to be demanding with us. I think it's still the same, and the role that I see for Converse is to, and for XMTP, of course, is to provide the framework for developers to play with. And so, building on top of a protocol and a client, it means, playing with constraints that we are creating for developers. And we can talk about a lot of different topics. It can be broadcast, it can be the new XIDs, it can be groups, it can be frames, etc., etc. So as a developer, the goal to me, the CTA, would be play with these tools, see how it can fit your use cases, whether it's communication, whether it's having the ability to gather people with each other, the ability to have new functionality, new features in terms within a group, and this is the way I would say, take what's there, play with it, and see how it can fit your projects and your what you are aiming to do, and then give feedback in order for us to enhance your developer experience.
Great, thank you. Noé, I really like the point you made about having the open source app, having the open source protocol, and them working together helps create a faster iteration cycle and improvements for the protocol based on real life use cases that are very, very close to the protocol. I'm wondering if folks want to talk about any examples of that came up during this transition process.
I don't think we have like a recent example of something that was built out of the protocol, but we've been integrating group chats for the last few weeks. And the fact that we are now part of the team, meaning that even if we already have like first class support, we're now like iterating together. We have been able to bring so many small issues that can lie in the SDK, and we have been able to have a super responsive team correct them. And so we see that loop that is so much faster that I was talking about earlier. And the fact that having a client in-house will improve greatly the SDK. And actually, like when we started working on this a year and a half ago, the XMTP team had a client in-house. You were building it, and we had a discussion about whether or not you would make it public. And we decided to continue Converse because you guys were not making it public, and this was like a very big decision at the time. And after a year and a half of working on it, the conclusion is actually it's interesting for everyone to have the client in-house, for the app builders, for the protocol. And so I think this is a great example. Like the group chat implementation would have taken twice the time if we weren't in-house today.
And also, I think it's important to mention the fact that I think it's not the same. It's not the only case as client versus protocol. When you are a client on top of a protocol that is evolving, of course, another one that is mature, 10 years or whatever. It's hard for us to innovate on top of the protocol because sometimes, let's say that we make a decision that is quite radical, and there is a new thing that is not existing yet on the protocol. It's hard for us to have the confidence that it's going to be part of the protocol tomorrow. And so maybe we are kind of forking the user experience versus the actual protocol that is going to be live tomorrow. And so it's actually hard in this period of time to innovate and to be sometimes radical when trying something new, because you don't have the confidence that it's going to be part of the protocol. When you are part of the same team, basically what you can have this confidence that tomorrow, if something works in the app, even if it's not part of the protocol, there will be at least consideration to actually put it in the protocol if it's valuable for other users and other developers. And so this is something that, as a paradox, being part of the same team might make us more, radical and sometimes more efficient in trying new things, versus being two separate teams. So it's not exactly as a technical standpoint, but it's more of a dynamic a method that will be more efficient. I actually believe that for the future.
What a great point too, and it makes me think about how we, as a core development team, really need to learn how to kind of foster that really close relationship, even if the team is not embedded in our team, and how can we emulate that with folks who are running as a separate project. So it's great to hear about how much that did help, and maybe we can look at some of the characteristics of that relationship and how to propagate it to external teams. So thank you very much. Anyone have any comments, any questions that have come up? Any closing remarks for this segment? Oh, hi there, Morgan. Please go ahead.
Yeah, kind of as one of those external teams, certainly.
Yeah, to add something to what.
Morgan had his hand raised. Do you think we could let Morgan go?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you, Fabri.
Kind of as one of those external teams building on XMTP, certainly this is a super exciting announcement. And I think we look at a lot of protocols in the space, and kind of like a protocol's goal is really to become an ecosystem. And without kind of this open source app tooling, can be really hard to do so. We've seen the progress of Telegram and kind of its app layer that's forming as a really kind of similar comparison. So I don't know, we're really excited to kind of see what this brings, and certainly the extra tooling that kind of like we've got in kind of our back pocket now. It's like really powerful to kind of, also kind of like teach us a bunch of things in terms of how we might move our own project forward. In terms of, hey, is open sourcing a lot of this tooling much more valuable than kind of keeping it closed source? So I think we've got a little bit to learn from certainly what you guys are announcing today, and I think you could probably give a complete presentation on just kind of the benefits of open sourcing that app layer. And I don't know, we're here to learn and certainly excited to see what this brings.
Yeah, I think you have a great point, Morgan, on that. And it was because the app layer is innovating so fast that coordinating between developers like you building frames and the app and the protocol, it was going only to get harder and harder. So like having the app, having the protocol, and the app is also going to be coupled with SDKs to build on top of the app and to be part of this mini app ecosystem like Telegram is doing or Webcast. So we expect to have like this, to be much more efficient in dealing with innovations in the app layer, and to be able to, of course, and also, AI, we can expect AI agents to be a big part of this. So by owning the whole stack, we can really move faster than before. And that's going to be super exciting, we think.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Fabri. Exciting to see all of the developer experience work to come. All right. Well, thank you for all of that. And now I'd like to bring our a very special guest, a person that I really appreciate and adore working with, who has recently become the VP of Engineering at Ephemera, Naomi Plasterer, and I'm hoping she can join us to talk a little bit about some career opportunities at Ephemera.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that. Also really excited about open sourcing Converse. I spent 6 or 7 years at GitHub, so open source is really big deal. And really excited that we were able to do that. So speaking of Converse, we actually have an open role for working on the Converse app here at XMTP. We're looking for a React Native expert who has a really good attention to design and detail. We also have roles across the whole stack. So we're, decentralizing, we're building a messaging open source protocol, and now we have an app. So pretty much anywhere you want to work on the on the spectrum, we probably have a role. So definitely refer your friends, apply. The links are here on the slides. I think the slide deck is shared. So yeah, would love to see, more people applying and working with us.
Great. Thanks so much, Naomi. All right. Well, one more call for any questions or other discussion items. We can have open floor. Otherwise, we can call it a day. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this very special meeting and this amazing announcement. If you have any questions, you can head over to the community forum. It's community.xmtp.org, and we can carry on the discussion. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.